Hello friends, long time no see. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today we're doing something a little bit different. So if you've been following along with my vlogs, you will know that Dragon Con is steadily approaching. It starts on August 29th and we are going to be doing a group cosplay, and we've chosen to do Disney villains. And my favorite Disney villain, fun fact, is Hades from Hercules. So I am doing my own little spin on Miss Hades. And so I am actually at my mom's house. I'm borrowing Heather's sewing machine, and we're gonna try to assemble this dress here before I leave in like 2 days time. So I've already made some clips of me like cutting the pattern and the designs and everything I've kind of been thinking of. So now I am going to be actually trying to sew this dress together, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. Dark and stormy nights. Oh my gosh, the lighting in here. You can see me though. Okay, so it is obviously much later than when we originally checked in, but I was having a fight with the sewing machine. But I figured out the error of my ways. I figured out what I was doing wrong. So now we are really getting into the thick of it. Sorry, I have a bug bite and I'm holding you up. So now we can officially get going with the sewing. But we're reading a book. So I wanted to keep this in theme with our channel, even though nerdy things are in theme with our channel. But I thought it would be fun to read a book that centers around Hades. Now, obviously this isn't like the Hades of Disney's Hades, because I wasn't gonna read a Disney book. Ew. I looked for some options. I had already read the first graphic novel of Lore, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I thought I'd try a different story. And so I found an audiobook, which I thought would be better anyways in this situation, for a book called A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And this is a Persephone and Hades retelling as well, and it seems to have like 6 or 7 volumes in this series now. But it reads, Persephone is the goddess of spring by title only. The truth is, since she was a little girl, flowers have shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hopes to lead an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. After a chance encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in a contract with the god of the dead, and the terms are impossible. Persephone must create life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. The bet does more than expose Persephone's failure as a goddess, however. As she struggles to sow the seeds of her freedom, love for the god of the dead grows, and it's forbidden. So, yes. That is the story. I'm enjoying it so far. I think the world that they've established is pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Threads That Bind, because the gods are known to mortals in ways, but unlike Threads That Bind, these aren't like their descendants. The gods actually live like celebrities in this world. But the fated to lover thing, it's a really common theme, I feel like, in fantasy and romance. So, I mean, obviously, I know that they get together because this is a retelling of Hades and Persephone, but I'm still enjoying it. We just got to the underworld and are learning a little bit more about it, and it's pretty interesting. They're trying to obviously establish that Hades is not the bad guy that everybody thinks that he is, which is fine. But enjoying it thus far. It's a pretty quick read, and it is in theme with our costume. So with that, let's really get going on sewing this damn dress. Don't mind the mess. This is like the spare room that I'm doing this sewing in my mom's house. But wanted to give you an update. So as you saw, the dress is too small. And I think it's because it's supposed to be more stretch fabric for this type of dress. But for the blue of Hades' outfit, I have a dress that I purchased for a wedding, and it ended up being too small, but I got it on like final sale clearance, so I could not return it. So I thought I would use it to have like a nice blue fabric. But with that, this is the dress. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty blue, and it has like this nice blue lining on the inside compared to like this one. So my thought is that I can deconstruct the bodice here and even like use the paneling on each side to add it to the black and have that like kind of peeking through as like a little extra element, and I think it could be really fun. So I'm going to do some seam ripping, which is good because then I can switch up my stance. For the moment, I'm gonna seam rip all this good stuff here, and we've got a lot of fabric here to work with, which I'm going to use for a lot of those triangle details. That is really going to give that Hades look. So I figured I would go ahead and do that for a little while, and I'll check in with you a little later then. So I took a little bit of a break from reading, and I've been watching Gavin's latest vlog where he's looking for a new 5-star read. And as I was in the midst of that, but anyway, I am about 60% now into A Touch of Shadow, and they are going to some kind of gala for the Olympians, and it's like they honor a god or whatever each time, and then that god gives to a certain charity or something. And so of course they're honoring Hades this year, and we've also had a very similar storyline to Lore. So I mean, I don't know much about the Hades and Persephone, like the actual telling of the story, but you know, there's some trigger warnings, you know, for like some alluding to characters enacting different types of violence, particularly in the sexual nature. So, you know, definitely check that out. I did not know that when I read Lore, and that was pretty aggressive for me, and not something I wanted to see in a graphic novel, which I know seems interesting because like if I'm reading it, like I also don't like it, but I don't know, the graphic novel really took me by surprise. But it was not as intense. It didn't get as far as it did in Lore, but I was surprised that that theme is in here. And she's also a she's also never had like a sexual experience with a man before, which seems to be a trope used in some of these like romantic-y things. I don't know. But I don't know, I think it was similar in Lori, so I don't know if that's like part of Persephone's story. So I'm sure it might be, and I should probably do a little more research on it to see. But I just noticed that similarity. But like there's obvious attraction between the two of them, and this, again, this is sometimes what I have an issue with, like the enemies to lovers or like the fated lovers, is like they have like, it's not even like a slow build up for the sexual tension. It's just like right from the beginning. And just not very convincing that you don't want to be with somebody. It's just like not doing much to avoid that person whatsoever. And I do find, like, I know they're trying to paint him to be like a really good guy, but he is pretty controlling, and I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, I was like, I'm having a good time. It's fine. I'm thinking it'll be like a 3-star-ish read at the moment, which is pretty typical for me when it comes to more like fantasy romance anyway, romanticies and such. But that's where I'm at with it. I do always like to see like the interpretations of the different types of gods. I like that Hecate is getting a bit more of a shout out in this book. She's been an interesting character. I also think like the little society that they have going on in the underworld is pretty neat. So I'm enjoying some of those elements. And like I said, I think this, like the gods as like celebrities and stuff, and kind of how New Athens works, is pretty interesting in and of itself. So yeah, it's a good enough read. It's a fast read, so I definitely feel like I'm getting through the book really quickly, and I'll probably be done with the book before I'm done with the dress, which is fine. I mean, I guess I could always move on to the second book if need be, if they have it available audiobook-wise. But yeah, I need a break, so I thought I'd check out Gavin's video and catch up. It's a nice long one. So, and again, sorry for the mess of my life and this space. It's housing a lot of extra stuff while my younger brother is back in town for a little while. So, yeah, that's all I got to check in on here. I'm gonna, like I said, seam rip the bodice area and see if I can use that to fill in the gap of the dress, because the stretchy fabric really made a difference, and that's my own fault. It is definitely not the fault of the pattern. She was pretty explicit about needing stretchy fabric, but it got me started, so we're just gonna keep moving forward. I do have more black, but I really thought it could be neat to use this instead, so that's what we're gonna do. Hello. So it is the next day. Clearly, it's light out again. We had some business, some things to do with the fam earlier today, but I'm gonna get some sewing in now. But I wanted to give you kind of an update on where we're at with the dress, what things we're looking at. So give me a second to I don't have anything to put it up on, so it's a task. As you can see here, I've put this blue strip, and we put it on, it's a little backwards right now, but we put it on forwards. Also, I'd like to note, I stabbed my finger last night and got blood on the inside of the shirt. So there's that. But so you see, now this is stretched further, but I still have a problem where it doesn't look like she's gonna make it around still, even with this extra fabric right here. So I'm probably gonna still have to add a little more fabric here to close it up, possibly. I don't know, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm gonna put black here to come down another panel on this end, and then this side has that circle, so I need to put a panel on the inside of it so you can put string and it will like shoop it up, like shoop, shoop. But that's kind of where we're at. And then the really big thing we have to do is we have to make the triangles. So that's something else I'm going to do today and get that set up. I don't necessarily need to attach it all, but I'm gonna have, I had wanted a panel going along my hip and then coming down was the plan, and then here. But we'll see how far we get. And then if you remember the drawing, which I'm sure Editing Victoria can replace for you, I'm gonna have a drapey part here. So that means a lot of this anyways won't be like super obvious. Listen, we are in a seamstress here. I am not a professional whatsoever. But yeah, I feel like I need a little bit more fabric here to make sure it fits correctly. But that's where we're at. So let's get back to it, shall we? Hello, same day, different time for updates. We maybe have a solution to the myriad of problems that have come with making this dress. I had this scarf that I also picked up thrifting. It is more of a stretchy material, but it didn't have enough material for the length I wanted for the dress. So what I decided is to use this. I made like a little bodycon dress out of it, and I'm going to use this as the base and kind of drape the pieces that I had on it so I'm fully covered and still have that toga-esque vibe going on, but now I won't have to worry about trying to recreate so many pieces and trying to make it fit my full body. This will cover my full body. So that is my update. It's just a simple stitch. I already put it on. I don't know if you can see it. Possibly. But it's just a simple stitch. I'm gonna cut off the excess of it, and then we'll try layering these pieces on. I still haven't finished Touch of Shadow. I needed a break. Maybe I'll pick up with it in a little bit. I'm listening to a podcast right now. But that is my update. See you soon. Okay, I have half a battery right now, which means we're running out of time. But I got the last little things I need for my cosplay. My 80s cosplay. So I thought we would chat about A Touch of Darkness, because I have finished it, while I open and show you what I have grabbed to hopefully pretty much get us to a point where the look is going to be complete, and then I just need to do some final finishing things on the dress and such. So this is going to be loud, so maybe we'll take a moment not to do this. Ooh, they are jean, that's for sure, but that's okay. Ooh. Oh boy. I got them on sale. They didn't have the blue that I really wanted, but these are also a size bigger because they look like they run small, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, okay. They seem small for a 9. Oh my goodness gracious, pumpkin, they're so high up. I can already feel it. Okay, these definitely gonna have to be like, oh my gosh, is my ankle gonna fit? This is what happens when you got big calves. I am a big calf girl. I don't want to pinch my skin. Okay. Holy bejesus. Look at these things. Ah! Wow, this feels crazy. Okay, let's put the other one on and I'll give you a look-see. Okay, so A Touch of Darkness. I gave it 2.5 stars. I give it 2.5 stars. That's so scary. Okay, hold on. Holy bejesus. Oh my god. Okay, we're doing it. We're up. Let's see. Here we go. Let's. Woo! They're actually not uncomfy, considering. Oh. You can't see them if I do that. Turn the light on. Oh my gosh, they're so tall. Can you see them? Maybe if I... So let's refocus here. Hello, pumpkin. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? No? Ooh, you're so warm. So, A Touch of Darkness. I finished it. I gave it 2.5 stars. I enjoyed the first third more than I enjoyed the last 2/3. It's very faded romance, bad boy, grumpy sunshine, tropes, and it's just not for me. I did pick up the second audiobook in the series because we still have more to do and I want to stay on brand. I tried to find another option to try out on both Hoopla and Libby and unfortunately wasn't able to find something. So we're going to read the second one. Maybe it'll be different. We shall see. Like I said, I do like the world that Miss St. Clair has built. I enjoy this idea of the gods like living out in the open and owning different businesses and all that stuff and being like celebrities. It's interesting. So I'm interested enough to see where they're going to take that. I understand like in the next book, it's going to continue following their love story. I would have been interested to see, I don't know if she's doing a spin-off, but at the end of this novel, there were like 2 chapters in Hades' perspective and talked about, I'm trying to do this spoiler free, but talked a little bit more about the situation of Aphrodite. And I thought that would be an interesting spin-off story with her. So I'm kind of curious to see if they have that. And if they do, would it be too off kilter to read that one instead? Because I was kind of curious about it. Because it's not like a faded lover's trope. And maybe I'd like it a little more. I don't know, maybe I'll look into that to see if she's done some spin-offs on Hades and Persephone, or maybe if that's like in the works. But that's where we're at with reading. Now, the other things we got my wig, which I will not be putting on today. That will be for another time. So we've got our wig here. Just a blue wig. I got on Amazon. Not from my usual places. And then I got a reusable wig cap for lace fronts. Very handy. And then I found this palette with lots of different colors. So something I learned from Ginny D, when she did like a couple years ago, she did a video about how to do like body paint for cosplay and how to make it look realistic. And a lot of it had to do with like shading for the colors. So for example, for my Tangerine cosplay, because Tangerine is like a magenta pink color, to add in like highlights that are pinks and lowlights and contouring that is like pinks and purple, makes it more dynamic and look like it's actually your skin tone, you know? So because of that, I was looking for one to do for Hades, for some blues and grays, because I did get from Paradise a like gray, like a sheer gray face and body makeup for Hades. So I was looking for a palette, and the one I currently have that I used for my Tangerine cosplay is from ColourPop, but they had this one and it was a lot cheaper for this whole palette. Is just Beauty Glaze Color Fusion, and it's got a good array of colors. See on here, a good array of colors, mattes and sparkles. It's got plenty of blues and of different colors, and some magentas as well. So I feel like this will be a little handy one to have. It's very lightweight, and I can pack it away and take it with me to DragonCon, and it will be useful. And then I will have some fun colors for like Pride and anywhere else I would go. So I'll just have some fun color options. So I thought this was a good find as well. That is our haul. And that is all I wanted to update you on right this second, because like I said, my battery's halfway, and I don't think I'm gonna do anything with my cosplay today at this moment. So I will check in with you when I go to do finishing touches. What's up? Sunday, August 25th. I'm currently reading Skin Game for my Dress and Files reread challenge, but I've never read Skin Game, so it's no longer a reread challenge. It's not just a reading challenge. And I am currently like 75 to 80% of the way through the book. I will do the spoiler review of this book. But I'm having a good time overall. I did have a qualm with something that has to do with like the romantic subplot in this book, and in my spoiler vlogs I talk a lot about them overall, just because like, especially in these later books, there's just not a lot of hope going on for Harry and a lot of the characters, and so I think I cling to that romance because I'm like, give this man a boon. Like, come on, Butcher. Like, let Harry Dresden live. But I will probably pop this I was able to re-grab the audiobook, so I'll probably listen to it while we are doing some of those things. And hopefully my laptop will turn back on now so we can get to doing what we need to do. Wonderful. Hello, checking back in. So we had a lot of progress today. We finished Skin Game. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. There were a couple things in there, like I mentioned, the weird conversation really threw me for a loop. I know that seems like a weird reason to demote a rating, but it really did. And then also there's, again, that one storyline where I was just kind of like, okay, sure, fine, I guess. But it was still a little much for me to take in. So overall, 4.5 stars, had a fun time, did enjoy the little vault thing. Also, funny enough, Hades is a character that shows up in this book, and since I am doing the Hades cosplay, I thought that was very fun that I was finishing it up. Speaking of which, come. Speaking of which, talk about what we made. So we have our tangerine, focus. So we have our tangerine horns right here, and then this little guy is gonna be my little buddy with my Hades cosplay. He'll eventually be put together and painted, but he needs to dry because this is foam clay. So super fun. And then we also, I changed my mind on on painting this. And so unfortunately, this is gonna be a slightly different color, but it's okay because this shawl is gonna go over it. And then as you saw, I'll turn this into a pin so it's on here nicely. So this is all ready and rearing to go, which is good. So we can check that off the list as well. And now I am going to use the rest of my battery to do a quick check-in on Skin Game spoiler edition, and then do a quick check-in for the Hades cosplay. Well, kind of doing that now, but do it for the actual vlog, which will come out probably after this one and after this one, but maybe before the DragonCon one. I don't know. We shall see. To be determined. But that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna wrap up here. Gavin is still sprinting. I actually finished Skin Game through the last break because I was like 8% left, and so I just wanted to go ahead and get it done. So let's go ahead and do that before our battery dies, then we can charge it. I just ate and my nose is red because my nose is running. Hades costume update. You might have seen, I'll put a little bit of a clip, but I made Pain a bit chunkier. I know, it looks a little crazy, but I feel like it gets the point across, and I'm hoping that once he has paint on him, it'll look better. But look. Or I could just like hold him in my hand, you know? Anyway, so hopefully this guy will dry by tomorrow because he needs to be painted. Little big boy needs some paints. But it is time to pack. And since it is time to pack, I thought I would do a little try on for our Hades cosplay for you. Because we're almost there. Without the, no wig, nothing like that. No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'll be honest, I'm tired. And I was going to wrap up this vlog with footage from DragonCon in my full regalia. Maybe actually putting it on at DragonCon. So we'll do that instead because I have to pack. But I wanted to check in because this little ugly, disturbing guy is drying and I love him anyway. That's it. That's it. I don't know. Love y'all. Hello everyone. It is 2 weeks. It has been like 2 weeks since DragonCon now. And I am wrapping up this Hades cosplay vlog, which somehow, despite the fact that I feel like I did not have enough content for this vlog, is gonna be like an hour long. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I don't know why I do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My vlogs cannot seem to be less than an hour. But anyway, I wanted to wrap up this vlog, tell you the things that worked with the Hades cosplay. As you've seen, my DragonCon Crunch vlog, my DragonCon vlog, and my Dress and Files Riri vlog came out before this one, which I think is hysterical because the Hades cosplay was finished for DragonCon. But I wanted to go ahead and talk through some of the things that I learned with this cosplay, what I liked, what I didn't like, and all that good stuff. So first off, I really loved the cosplay overall. I don't care that I could have also been like the Statue of Liberty's blue cousin. I'm fine with it. It's fine. I enjoyed that crown. I wore that crown twice. I wore it for my little Dresden Winterfell inspired outfit on Friday night. And then I wore it for my Hades cosplay and it lasted, the battery lasted, it was super fun. It was great for like all of the later after hours parties and stuff like that. Super fun to do. The boots, overall, like, my toes hurt for a couple days after. Two of them, like 2 or 3 of them hurt a little bit. But realistically, they were fairly comfortable considering they were like 5 inches tall. I did wear them for the majority of the night. My friends convinced me that I should bring a change of shoes, and I did because when we went uphill we kind of bounced around to a couple of the different hotels on Saturday night, and having sneakers on was a good idea. Yes. Was a fantastic idea. It made all the difference. Hiking up in those boots to different parties would have been terrible. Would absolutely not. So, if you're listening and you're planning on going to DragonCon next year and you're planning on wearing platform heels, unless you are a pro, bring some sneakers. pop them in your bag, change into them, change back out. Ain't nobody gonna know. No one's gonna know. I do think pain was a good idea. I think it definitely helped solidify the outfit because it was an interpretation of the cosplay, but I got plenty of people who knew who I was, who came up to me, who asked for photos. So all of that was really fun, really rewarding. I have a few pictures. If you're somebody who saw me at DragonCon, you have some cosplay pictures, I would love them so much. So, you know, hit me up, let me know in the comments or something like that. The other thing that I took away from this, so I did 2 cosplays with face paint, with body paint this DragonCon. One of them I did complete body for the most part, so Hades was head to toe, and Tandri I only did basically to my clavicle because I was pretty covered over, like, outfit wise, but also I had gloves that went all the way up, so I didn't have to worry about painting my hands or my arms. But I will say I don't regret the probably 3.5 hours it took to cover my body in body paint because I was comfortable temperature wise the entirety of the night in my Hades cosplay. Yes, my hands didn't look as great as the rest of my body, but overall it worked and I was not sweating. I would have been dying had I full bodysuit on. It would have been way, way, way too hot. So I don't regret all the time it took or how patchy it looked in some places. I don't regret any of that. I think it kind of worked in my favor because I didn't want Hades to be like slate. The entirety of him like a very deep color like that magenta is for Tandri. So I was okay with it. I was very comfortable and happy with not having those gloves. Plus, the gloves are a pain in the ass for taking photos, for paying for things, for trying to contact your friends, for doing all of that stuff. The gloves suck. You know, so what? I spread some body paint. I spread some love to some people. I would say, like, if I was doing the magenta, which I still have remnants of, I think you can see, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. I still have remnants of the magenta everywhere. If I were doing a very strong color like that, I can see the value of not having that on your hands because it will be there, but these are all water soluble, so it is also okay. It is a-okay. It's not a big deal. Outside of that, I will say that I won't be wearing this cosplay again because the construction of it, as we kind of went through, I had to improvise for it because I did not get the right kind of fabric for the dress. So I had to improvise, and trying to get that dress off at 4 o'clock in the morning when I came back on Saturday night, Sunday morning, I basically tore it up. So I'm gonna possibly try to reuse some of it, probably just the 2 bodysuit, you know, just still reuse the fabrics. But it was fraying a lot at the ends, which was fine because it was dragging and things happen. And these were bed sheets that I grabbed for super cheap at a thrift store, but it was fraying a bit. It's not gonna be reusable, which is unfortunate. But I learned a lot of things. I had a lot of fun. I felt very accomplished with it. I thought our group cosplay was so much fun. Our Hot Villain Summer badge ribbons went over really, really well, which if you watch the DragonCon vlog, I talk a little bit more about that, but it was a great time. I had so much fun. I have already started thinking about cosplays I want to do next year, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, so we're not going to dive into that because obviously this vlog is already pretty long. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you went to Dragon Con, if you just like doing nerdy things, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to stick around for more Bookish and Nerds content, I upload every Sundays and most Wednesdays. And in the meantime, I hope you read a good book. I hope you find some joy. And most importantly, I hope you do something to make the world a better place. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!